What is going on YouTube? Reverse John Stanek from Johnny Radio here, bringing you another ranking video, and I had to do it. One of my favorite artists of all time, Ray Lamontagne, recently released his 9th studio album, Long Way Home. So I decided what better way to honor that than to rank his full discography and see where that lands in the mix and see where some others land, because everybody has their favorites, but I know I've definitely got mine. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right to it at number 9. Long Way Home. Had to do it, sadly, unfortunately, and I do need to give this some more time to marinate, but I've listened to it at least 5 times and it hasn't really clicked with me much, other than the title track, which by the time you get to that, it's at the end of the album. Beautiful song, but the rest of it doesn't feel, I don't know, I think inspired is the word I would say. Step Into Your Power. I love the message of that song, but it just feels, I don't know, there's not any energy into it. And I think some of that has to do with the fact that Ray has been doing a lot of self-production on the last couple of albums, and I think he really benefits from having a producer that can kind of push him a little bit, even though he's never really reinventing any wheels musically, let's face it. But it feels on this album that he's just doing kind of like these versions of channeling Van Morrison or Sam Cooke, which he used to get a lot of flack for being like a new version of those kind of artists. But I always felt like he was his own thing. This album, though, is kind of falling into that, and I don't know, or maybe I'm just seeing that more on this album, but there wasn't a lot that stands out, unfortunately. That's my assessment right now. It's not a bad album by any means. Sweet Ray does not do anything badly, but this is just kind of good Ray, and that's just not good enough for me. So that's why it's my number 9. Now at number 8, Part of the Light from 2018. This, another album that is kind of akin to this new one, where for the same reasons, not a lot stood out to me. Like the Long Way Home, just one song in particular stood out to me. Such a simple thing, which is a gorgeous ballad. I think ranks up there with one of Ray's best, but other than that, this album doesn't have a lot of staying power to me. It's not one that I revisit often, and for that reason, it's in the lower 3 on my list. So now at number 7, Monovision from 2020. This one, again, a little similar. It's in my bottom 3, but I think it's the best of the bunch. It has another song that stands out. I Was Born to Love You, another kind of sweet Ray ballad that you can't ignore it being great. Other than that, there's some other strengths on the album, some others that don't stand up as much. But overall, and being self-produced by Ray, I was very impressed with this one. It has this whole kind of DIY vibe to it, which made sense, especially at the time it came out during the pandemic, and was kind of a breath of fresh air to have some new Ray. But that being said, it's still kind of not, great Ray, which now we're going to be starting to get to some of the really good stuff here. So now at number 6, Till the Sun Turns Black from 2006. Love this record, and wish I could have had it a little higher, honestly, because aside from 3 More Days, which there's always one real standout song on any album, and this one's kind of an outlier because there's not any other songs really like it on the record. It's like his version of doing a Motown song, and it's brilliant. It's one of my favorite Ray songs, as you know, as I've done my top 5 Ray songs video. You can check that out as well. But also, you've got some just amazing ballads on here, like the opening track, Be Here Now. There's nothing quite like it. And when I saw him perform live, he opened with that track by himself. amazing. That was when I saw him solo live. I've seen him a couple more times. Just amazing. And then the closing track, Within You, just hauntingly beautiful. Great album overall, but doesn't quite make my top 5. But yeah, it's like the best of the worst, I guess. So now we're coming right into the middle at number 5. God Willin' and the Creek Don't Rise from 2010. Man, this is such a great album by Ray Lamontagne and the Pariah Dogs, like giving some love to his band that had been already playing with him on a couple albums. But yeah, they are so good, especially the opening track, Repo Man, kind of like 3 More Days, but like a bluesier, rockier song, which has an amazing guitar riff. And then you've got the title track, which is great. New York City's Killing Me. I think towards the end of the album, it starts tapering off as far as like being a little more too much on the slow material. But overall, this is a really solid album and one that I come back to a lot, if not just for those first 3 songs, which are fantastic. And that is my number 5. So now at number 4, Ouroboros from 2016. Again, another great one. You've got In My Own Way, which is another one of my favorite all-time Ray songs. Just majestic. And him with that lead guitar riff, which is incredible and so well produced by Jim James. It sounds like Ray doing Pink Floyd throughout this whole album. And feels almost like a concept album, how the songs flow into one another. And it is a bit of a concept album, like about being on the road and coming back home. And songs like Hey, No Pressure really amp up the rock and shows that Ray can really like stretch out of his comfort zone if he wants to. And I think when he does that, there's really some rewards that we reap as the listener. And yeah, just great album. That's my number 4. Now at number 3. Supernova from 2014. Man, another great one, and another one that was produced. We're seeing a pattern here by somebody other than himself that, again, stretched his boundaries, I feel. The great Dan Auerbach from the Black Keys. And really, this album feels like even further of a throwback from Pink Floyd, like channeling a lot of experimental 60s, like you get this psychedelic vibe on songs like She's the One and the title track, Lavender. Airwaves is such a great song that just makes you feel like you want to be at the beach. And like just every single song has a different vibe to it, takes you to a different place. Very magical record. I love it. And that's just my number 3. So now at number 2. Trouble, the debut from 2004. Man, I will never forget the first time I heard this album. And this is one of those things, like a rare thing. I hardly ever do this, but from a recommendation from a celebrity, no less, Zach Braff said, like, you have to check out this album. And I was like, okay, Zach Braff, you made like one of the greatest compilation albums to go with your film Garden State. I'll check this guy out. And boy, was he right, man. I listened to this album straight through and then like immediately broke out my acoustic guitar and started playing along with some of these songs that are quite easy to play along to. A lot of them are in the key of G. Like the title track, like Hold You in My Arms, Shelter, of course, Jolene, just one of my favorite songs of all time. Just so many amazing songs. And you're like, this guy came out of nowhere, just one of the greatest singer-songwriters I've ever heard. And he just like dropped in my lap. And I think that's how a lot of people felt and continue to feel about Ray, because somehow he's still like one of the most underrated artists ever, with one of the most beautiful voices that we've been blessed with. And yeah, how is that possible? But yeah, that's my number 2. So now at number 1. Gossip in the Grain from 2008. This just feels like the most compact, just perfect, like shows a little bit of everything that Ray can do. You have like the sequel to 3 More Days with You Are the Best Thing, the opening track, which is great. this also a great producer on this one who did his first 3, maybe even 4 albums, Ethan Johns, incredible. Let It Be Me, just my favorite love ballad by Ray. It's like my wife and I's kind of song that we just, first slow dance to together. You got just every single song on here, man. Just so many different flavors. You've got some bluesy stuff with Henry Nearly Killed Me. You've got some fun literal barn burners on the second half of this thing. It's just incredible. And Meg White, another great one. It shows that Ray can have fun. And yeah, and I love this album so much, and I feel it really encapsulates him as an artist. But really, anything from like 6 up, man, I highly recommend. So that's pretty strong for a discography. Sad to say that, Long Way Home so far is my least favorite. And it seems like, his last 3 records haven't really done it for me as his older stuff has. But I'm not giving up on this guy. I'm a Sweet Ray fan for life, and I hope you guys are too. So let me know in the comments below, what would your ranking of his discography be? What do you think of the new record? Do I have it wrong? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And guys, we got other rankings here. We got top 5s. We got album reviews, so much more. Thank you for watching. And as always, Viva la Vinyl. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and be sure to ring the bell for notifications so you can always see great quality content like you're seeing on the screen right now. Thank you so much for supporting Johnny Radio, and I'll see you soon.